Hello everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I have another video for you guys from Swagkage, and this is actually a more recent upload. I think this is his most recent video that he's uploaded to his channel called Could Minato Beat Hashirama? Now, as you can see, this was uploaded on June 24th. I'm recording this on the 29th, and by the time you guys see this, it'll probably be August. So let's just go ahead and not waste any more of your time. And also, before we get into the video, guys, if you want to support the channel, consider leaving a like, share the video, subscribe if you haven't, especially subscribe. Help me get to that 1,000 subscriber mark. I just passed the 400 sub mark, so maybe you guys can help me get to 1,000. So with that being said, let's not waste any more of your time and just play the video.
Hey, how's it going, everybody? Swagkage here, and today Seth's here, and
Hello.
in addition to him, we've got a newcomer. Everybody welcome my boy Six.
Hi, I'm Six.
Six knows a lot about Naruto.
Yeah, bro, he's really cool. You should check out his channel, which will be linked in the description, so no excuses. Anyway, so today we're going to be talking about Minato versus Hashirama. Now, let's before we say anything, all of us are in agreement. Hashirama probably wins the fight.
Yeah.
But Six and I like Minato like a lot. And Seth is always down to play devil's advocate. So
Okay,
throughout
let's
this
see
video,
it.
we're going to be providing arguments for how maybe Minato could win the fight.
Here's a good hypothetical way to put it, right? It's like, you remember that scene where Orochimaru was trying to summon all the Hokage, and then Hiruzen sees the fourth Hokage, he's like, oh hell no! He tries to put it away. What if that
I can't let the third one rise up no matter what.
Oh no, the other two are fine, but not that one. So maybe we're gonna try to create a case for why could Hiruzen maybe be scared. It's not gonna be objectively right. Maybe you guys down below could point out some flaws in the arguments. It's just gonna be, we're gonna try to make up whatever we can to see if we can get Minato.
So first of all, let's get all the Minato downplay out of the way. One of the most obnoxious things is people like to point out the data book statement where A has, like, in his lightning cloak, they're like speed on par with the yellow flash. Now this is just obviously not true. He's not as fast as Minato. I mean, Minato was referred to as the Yellow Flash throughout the Third War, so it was probably in reference to Jonin Minato, and it would make sense too.
I mean, you could just say the Yellow Flash is like what people knew during the war.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
maybe that's Hokage, he got a bit stronger or something, and people didn't know about that. Also, it's kind of a weird statement as well, because the fourth Raikage says, now that he's dead, I'm the fastest.
Yeah, exactly.
That, like, there was, like, it was contentious even to him to think that. Like, he probably implies that.
And that was like 16 years ago.
Yeah.
Their encounter was like 21 years ago, right?
Yeah, exactly.
4 years later, or 5, Minato dies. Minato, who's this guy with unparalleled talent, his shinobi is or his capacity as a shinobi is just unmatched. So it's not out the realm of possibility that in those 4 years, he just got so much faster the Raikage could never catch up to him.
It's not like Minato was, like, getting rusty, like, say, like, Part 1 Kakashi in the Land of Wedge or something. That dude was literally solo stomping wars. Like, he was not getting rusty. He was definitely moving and constantly, like, motivated. So, and I believe that physical activity and fighting a lot actually does increase your power in Naruto.
I'm hoping the music isn't
He actually
copyright,
makes a
so...
statement to imply that when he's training KCM Naruto, he says that fighting always teaches more than training, and it's like
That's
a
true.
shortcut to powering up. So yeah, Minato definitely
You learn
could've
more
got so
on the
much
job
faster
as
than
you
Raikage,
do when
just
someone's trying to
can't fuck
teach
with
you.
Yeah, and the other one, now this isn't necessarily Minato downplay so much as it is, like, it's kind of relevant to this fight. Don, Tsunade's dead boyfriend, says that the only person who could ever stop Madara is Hashirama. And I've seen this brought up a little bit, not like a ton, like the Raikage statement, but this is just, like, not This isn't relevant at all because Don died during the Second War before Minato was famous, and he's also just a random. Like, he has, like, no authority on the topic at all. I was, like, giving Six an analogy a while back. I think it was either yesterday or the day before when we were talking about this. And it would be like if I said the only person who could stop Jonah Hill was Adam Sandler. It would be totally meaningless. It's kind of the same thing with what Don's saying here, right?
That's
Like,
Nicolas
first of all, he
Cage.
doesn't really know who Minato is. And the other thing is that he was literally dating Hashirama's granddaughter. So there may be a little bit of bias there. It's hard to
Well-
call the statement concrete or definitive or say that it really is like indicative of anything as far as this fight is concerned, though.
There's also the Cavato Statement. So, I mean, the Cavato Statement, if I recall correctly, just says vaguely no one alive should be able to take down Hashirama.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
I mean,
it does.
Yeah, it doesn't say, like, in all of history or anything.
And
I'm
it's
pretty
also
sure-
a pretty specific caveat, too. Like, no one currently alive.
Yeah,
So.
and I can debunk one thing real quick.
Yeah.
So, there's the third Hokage is the strongest Hokage thing.
Oh, yeah, we talked
But
about
here-
this a lot,
Right,
yeah.
Right, here's the thing. Here's the thing. We don't even need to debunk it or anything. You can literally just say, even if the third Hokage was the strongest Hokage, it doesn't mean that Hashirama beats Minato.
Yeah, like, those are unrelated. Oh, wait, actually, the biggest downplay ever is the Tobirama is faster than Minato stuff because of, like, what happens during the Jubito fight. The Tobirama being faster than Minato thing is just, like, blatantly false because Tobirama comments on
Yeah,
Minato's
exactly.
speed, calling his Shunshin better than his own. I mean, like,
He
Minato gets to the
specifically says, see,
battlefield
right
before
there.
any of the Hokage do, and we can assume that they were all traveling at full speed. I feel like that is a safe assumption to make. The only way that you can argue that Tobirama was faster than Minato is by taking this, like, out of context scene. The reason why it's not really fair to use it is because Minato was clearly, like, mega nerfed by how surprised he was to see Obito was the person who attacked the Leaf Village. Like, this really
but-
messed him up.
Yeah. The data book goes over this. It says that, like, seeing Obito change in appearance and finding out that he was the one who attacked the village put Minato in a sort of, like, stupor or dazed phase.
Yeah.
And we know that in Naruto you can get mental nerfs and amps. So if Minato is faster than Tobirama in base, and then Tobirama starts to be faster than KCM Minato, well, then you can just say the nerf is like a KCM level nerf.
Yeah, it's,
Also-
like, massive.
Also, to bring up some, like, feats here, I think that are interesting, I was just thinking about it, is that I think for one, like, okay, so you have Hashirama, he's, like, fighting off, like, Madara and the Nine Tails, and just entire Susanoo, he's, like, running away from it, and then he's able to kind of, like, stalemate Madara almost at the very end. He, like, wins, but it's, like, almost a stalemate, right?
Yeah.
But something that's interesting is that you have Minato, who's now nerfed, right? He's nerfed in an Edo state. Not only does
That's
he get
true.
to the battlefield before Hashirama, but he's actually able to, like, get in between a Ten Tails Bijou Bomb and is able to teleport it, like, across the ocean. Like,
Again,
before-
nerfed.
Before any of the Hokage arrive. So, which it's like, could he literally teleport anything that Madara could have thrown at him as well? It's probably very likely.
I mean, you could say that the reason why he arrived earlier than everyone else is because he had, you know, the flying Hygiene. Although I guess you could sort of say that that doesn't really apply because the second Hokage also had flying Hygiene and yet he still arrived after. Although you could say that maybe while they were there, or while they were on their way, like they. Sorry about that. I just had to take care of something. Anyway, as I was saying, you could say that while they were on their way there, they sort of sensed the Ten Tails was about to attack, and Minato offered to just go on ahead, and you know, because he had flying Hygiene, he was able to place the marker, which you can see right there, and he was able to make it in time by using flying Hygiene, obviously, because you know you could just, like that technique where he throws the kunai and then he just teleports where the kunai is. And considering how most shinobi are known to be able to throw kunais in such an insane distance, it would be pretty helpful in transportation. So I don't know. I mean, I guess you could just there are many ways you can interpret Minato arriving before anyone else, especially Hashirama.
Really interesting, I think.
So the number one thing that is easiest to argue goes to Minato is speed, because his whole thing is that he's fast and he has a lot of really crazy speed feats. The craziest one is when he gets in between Ten Tails Madara and 8th Gate Guy and just like warps back out. Like he has like 6 paths level reaction speed.
In the anime, this is insane.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the anime,
Yeah.
anime, Guy and the True Secret Orbs are like moving in slow motion in comparison to Minato. He's just outspeeding both of them
So,
completely.
if we use the anime, you don't even really need to take Devil's Advocate anymore for Minato to win, because like there's the whole statement of the flying Raijin surpassing the concepts of like space, time, and like distance or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's basically like an outer versal like teleportation, right? So, when this happens, Minato's teleporting like completely ignoring space and time, like the concepts of space and time. Yet in the anime, he's shown taking off Naruto's blanket while completely negating time itself, and then flying into a cabin and surviving like an explosion. Like, so using the anime, he's kind of a bad dude, but in the manga, maybe it has to be a little bit different, you know?
Yeah.
So what does Hashirama do against Minato's like outer versal irrelevant speed kunai? Like summon a tree?
Now obviously if you stick to manga only, it's not quite that clear cut in Minato's favor, but the Jubidara Might Guy feat is still pretty impressive, and it should put his reaction speed on a level where he's perfectly capable of reacting to and teleporting away from anything that Hashirama throws at him. The tough thing is, what does Minato do after that? Like, how does he actually damage Hashirama? The
That's
guy
true.
has, he fought Madara and was like deflecting Biju bombs and stuff, and he also has regeneration. So he should be pretty durable. But Six and I were talking about this. I actually don't remember if we got Seth's opinion on this before the video, but if I'm recalling correctly, now anybody in the comments, feel free to correct us, but I'm pretty sure Hashirama doesn't have any like crazy durability feats like with his own body, right?
He doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah, he never really tanks anything with his own body. And then in the data book, or data book 4 in specific, it says that the reason Hashirama is known as the strongest is because of his wood style, and that's what he uses to like deflect Biju bombs and whatnot. So you can make the case that his body is just not that powerful, and it's all in the jutsu.
So, yeah, I would say personally that it would be a little bit weird. I think I brought this up, but I think it's a little bit weird if like his body was made out of paper mache.
Yeah.
Because like I feel like Madara would just be like, okay, if I hit him, I can like turn him into ash or something. Like, so I do think he has some scope with durability.
Sure, right, but like
I can agree that it might be hard to quantify, right?
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
it's kind of hard to say that like he's on like the same level. I mean, like you could argue this if you wanted to, but it's hard to say it's definitive that he's on the level of the attacks that he's deflecting with his like giant wood hands or whatever, right?
Yeah, he's using those wood hands for a reason. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
So I can see how a lot of people would say maybe Hashirama scales to Madara in durability or something like that, but there's actually a bit to imply, or something to imply, that Madara was actually just beating up Hashirama in their fight, and he kept healing. We get a flashback from the Nine Tails, where Hashirama's talking to him middle of the fight with Madara, and we see that Hashirama is like severely battle damaged. Like he's beat to the point where his eyes closed. Maybe it's even cut out. I don't know, because Hashirama can heal organs. His forehead's bleeding, his mouth is bleeding. But then we see at the end of the Madara fight, the damage he has doesn't resemble that. So there's something to say like Madara was like actually beating him up, and Hashirama was just healing from all the attacks.
It could be kind of similar.
It's true. I mean, I think I probably mentioned this before, but one of the biggest advantages that Hashirama had was the fact that his body could just heal itself. You know, it's almost an insane hacks to where he has like Wolverine levels of healing, to where any damage sustains, he could just heal it like it was nothing. And I don't know. It's insane. The kind of, I mean, I will admit that, it is an interesting debate that you could have. To where it's like, what if Madara fought Hashirama, but Hashirama didn't have his insane healing ability? Personally, I don't know. I mean, the thing about Hashirama Senju is he is pretty broken. He is, and but to me, I feel like his biggest advantage is, like I said, the fact that he could heal any damage done to him. So I feel like that gave him an insane advantage in any fight. To where I can't help but wonder if he were to fight Hashirama without, or if he were to, excuse me, if he were to fight Madara without that ability, or anyone, then maybe he would have a tougher time with the fight. I don't know. I just feel like it's a good debate to have.
Similar to like, imagine Naruto versus Sasuke, right? Like when you actually see those Naruto versus Sasuke fights, like if Naruto didn't regen, he would die so many times. Like
Yeah.
there was that one scene where Sasuke like ripped out his lung.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And the
That's
anime,
true.
like when they were fighting in Six Paths, like he like impaled him through the spine with like an Amaterasu spear that would have killed
Well-
any normal person. Like
Yeah.
there's like a lot of
Well, the thing about this is that he did impale the clones, but Naruto, the real body, was able to avoid it slightly. But he was only able to do that because he created the Kurama like chakra hand, and he was able to hold it, because if he tried to hold it with his bare hand, it would have burned him. Because that's why he had to use the chakra hand, because he knows that the Amaterasu can burn anything but not chakra, and not the truth-seeking orbs. Which I wonder why he didn't use that. Although I don't know. That's just something I wanted to point out with this.
Sasuke blatantly like rips through Naruto, but his regen like kind of saves him a bit. Not to say that Sasuke is stronger than Naruto in Six Paths, but just as an example, like
Yeah.
Madara could literally just be doing that.
Well,
to Hashirama, and
I mean, again, I feel like, see, here's the thing. I feel like a lot of people kind of downplay how strong Sasuke actually was in that fight because Naruto had Six Paths Sage mode. Not to downplay Naruto, but I feel like a lot of people kind of downplay Sasuke in that fight. Just my opinion, but to me, it's like, yeah, I do agree with them. It's like one of his biggest advantages, just like Hashirama's, that they had these self-regen abilities, kind of like here. Like if Naruto didn't have the Nine Tails' ability to heal, like this would have killed him. Like Sasuke even said right then and there after he impaled him, it's like, I pretty much burst out one of your lungs. So your right arm right now is completely useless. So he can't even form the Rasengan with his right arm. And it's like, dude, that kind of damage, if he didn't have that self-regen ability, it would have killed him. Like Naruto, without a doubt, would have died. And here, too, I feel like there were a lot of moments where Naruto would have died to Sasuke's abilities if he didn't have that insane self-regen ability. And I don't know, I feel like it's an interesting topic of conversation, to where how would characters like Hashirama and Naruto do against their rivals if they didn't have those insane self-healing abilities? See, here's the thing. A lot of people say that, oh, well, Sasuke and Madara could only do what they do because they have these insane hacks abilities. And they forget that Hashirama and Naruto had hacks abilities too. Naruto had fucking Kurama, who has an insane amount of chakra, and like I said, the self-regen ability. Not to mention, he was given Six Paths Sage Mode, which at the time was the most broken ability in the entire series. Don't talk to me about Sasuke having hacks abilities or whatever. Jesus.
we wouldn't really know, right? So
Yeah, Madara also like heavily respects that healing. Like he thinks it makes Hashirama the ultimate shinobi, so he probably had like a pretty tough time with it.
I think this actually segues into another Minato downplay, and there's like this like weird like meta or whatever where people think that Minato has like no stamina. I don't know if you guys have heard that.
When?
Now-
Yeah, because of the Obito fight. Yeah.
Not even the Obito fight, but also because of the war as well, which I think is like kind of disingenuous, right? Because I think Minato's like most stamina draining attacks are obviously like the flying Raijin barrier and like teleporting like massive things. Like he
Yeah.
makes that very clear. But people act like he can only like use flying Raijin normally like 6 times. It's so disingenuous. They also think that because he teleported like the Shinobi Alliance, that it's like he has no stamina as well. But it's like he's teleporting like an entire like what, tens of thousands of people.
Yeah. It's like the
At
whole
the
world's
same
military.
Yeah, so obviously, like, ripping a hole in, like, space-time that probably ignores the concepts of space and time and stuff probably takes a bit of chakra, you know? Like, it's not like Minato was just, like, dashing around Obito trying to slash him over and over, and that's why he got tired, right? There's, like, a lot of things leading up to it. He was also using, like, extremely advanced, like, sealing jutsu as well.
Yeah.
But I don't think versus Hashirama he would really use that barrier unless he's trying to, like, teleport away the entire Buddha statue.
Well, that would be really funny. I also brought this up. Like, imagine, like, the Buddha statue, like, goes to, like, punch Minato, and then it's just gone.
I can definitely see, like, people saying, okay, I don't think Minato has a stamina for that, right? Because if the
Yeah. I agree.
That statue, which dwarfs the Nine Tails, is probably a little bit out of it.
I
But
agree.
I think it's disingenuous to say as well, like, if you give Minato speed, is that the golem or the Buddha statue would ever be even remotely effective, because, like, you would say, okay, well, Hashirama's trying to, like, attack him at range, but wouldn't it be in character for Minato to place a seal on Hashirama to be able to teleport to him at any time?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. He does it, like, every time he
So, like,
fights someone.
So, like, imagine, like, they're, like, standing, like, even, like, a mile apart, and this huge statue's coming, like, come punch him. You just teleport onto Hashirama. Like,
Yeah.
it would be kind of ineffective. Like,
There's also something with the flying Hygiene barrier that y'all were talking about where Minato actually redirects those attacks where he wants them to go. Like, he says that when he's redirecting the Nine-Tailed Biju Bomb. So it's possible that, like, Hashirama, like, tries to hit him with 1,000 hands and he just puts it back on him and he just hits himself. Like,
starts punching himself in the back or something.
Yeah, and since we've already established that it's possible that Hashirama's durability may not scale to that of his wood constructs, it's possible that, like, the 1,000 hands or, like, the wood golem punching him could, like, really fuck him up, right?
Yeah.
So, again, it's debatable, but, you know.
Let's hear Swag's ultimate.
Yeah. Yeah, my favorite win condition is that Minato marks Hashirama and then, like, blitzes him and then grabs him and throws him up and then teleports back to him and keeps throwing him, like, over and over, like chain grabbing him until he throws him into space,
Like
and then
some
Hashirama
Smash
dies.
Bros stuff. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
And then, like, right when he's about to get to the stratosphere, instead of throwing him, he throws a kunai into outer space and, like, switches him or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
Minato just safely teleports back to the ground so he doesn't, fall and die.
Is that everything? I don't know. What else is there to say?
Yeah, so, again, it's like, if we're being honest, yeah, Hashirama probably wins. He's definitely presented as stronger, and, like, Madara and Hashirama seem like, they're kind of presented as, like, this whole, like, other level. But I think that there are multiple arguments that you can use. I think the strongest ones are, like, teleportation hacks, obviously, combined with sealing jutsu hacks. Anyway, thanks for coming by. Thanks for being here, Seth and Six. And
Yeah.
until next time, see you later. Bye, everybody.
Okay, I think that's, yeah. Okay, so that was the video. And, I mean, look, I do always love these versus what ifs. I mean, you take certain characters, you put them against each other, and you ask, what would happen if they did fight? And Minato versus Hashirama is an interesting one, excuse me. Other person I feel like, it's like they said, Hashirama I think wins. Because Kishimoto sort of presented Hashirama as being this incredibly broken character. And especially with all the hacks that he has from being a member of the Senju clan, not to mention wood style, and it's just wood style alone I feel like makes him incredibly difficult to deal with. Like, Kishimoto made wood style so goddamn broken. You can understand why he only ever gave it to one person, really. And probably a good thing. And I know you had Yamato, but Yamato can't do anything close to what Hashirama could. Not even Madara could. I think we already talked about that in the previous video, and it's insane. But yeah, I do agree with him. Hashirama I think wins. That's my vote. But you know what, guys, maybe you guys disagree. Maybe you think Minato does have a chance. Let me know about all of that in the comment section down below. Remember to, while you're there, like the video, share the video, subscribe if you haven't, especially subscribe so you guys can help me get to that 1,000 mark. And remember to click on the bell icon to let you know whenever a new video goes up or whenever I go live. Thank you so much again. Remember to stay safe, take care of yourselves. Bye for now.